AITA for refusing to help my father when his company went bankrupt after he disowned me for not joining the military? It was 2:47 a.m. when my phone rang. I was half asleep and ready to curse whoever was calling, until I saw the name flash across the screen. Dad. I hadn't spoken to him in 5 years. I let it ring, then again, and again. No voicemail at first, which was strange. But when the third call came, it finally left one. I didn't listen, not right away, because even though 5 years had passed, the pain hadn't. Let me rewind. I grew up in a military household. My dad was a third-generation Marine, a defense contractor, and the CEO of a very lucrative company that worked with the U.S. government. Everything in our life was strict, scheduled, and built on the foundation that I, too, would serve. He applied to West Point on my behalf when I was 16. My acceptance letter was the proudest moment of his life. Not mine, because I had a different dream. I got a full-ride offer from Caltech to study electrical engineering. My goal was to build sustainable power grids, off-grid energy systems, and affordable battery tech for developing nations. When I told him I wasn't going to West Point, he looked at me like I told him I was joining a terrorist cell. Then, after an hour-long screaming match, he told me to get the hell out of his house and go save the trees somewhere else. I left with a backpack and $600 my mom had secretly slipped into my pocket. He cut me off. No calls. No visits. When my mom got sick a year later, he didn't show up to the hospital. She passed while I was holding her hand. He never came to the funeral. And now he was calling me? When I finally listened to the voicemail, his voice was quiet. Fragile. Son. I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I need to talk to you. Serious. Please call me back. I didn't. Instead, I Googled his company. Bankrupt. Under federal investigation. Contracts terminated. 800 employees laid off. CEO under criminal review for fraud. I laughed out loud. Not because I was happy, but because karma finally showed up. The man who once told me I'd never be a real man without a uniform was now the poster boy for corporate failure. A few days later, I got a certified letter at my apartment. It was an invitation to dinner, formal, typed, even embossed with his old company's logo. Fairmont Grand Hotel. Friday, 7 p.m. 1 hour of your time. No expectations. My girlfriend Maya told me not to go. My best friend Jared told me to burn the invitation. But I went. I wore the nicest suit I owned, subtle but expensive. My own money. My own success. When I walked into that hotel dining room, I didn't see the proud, towering general I remembered. I saw an old man with thinning hair, an unshaved jawline, and a drink already half gone. Son, he said, voice breaking. I didn't shake his hand. You said 1 hour, I replied. Clock's ticking. He handed me a folder across the table. This is a proposal. A new company. Renewable infrastructure for the military. You're the tech. I'm the strategy. We could partner. I nearly laughed in his face. You disowned me, I said. Told me I wasn't your son. Ignored me when Mom died. Now you want to do business? He was silent. Then, I was wrong. About you. About everything. I didn't care. I closed the folder. Stood up. Told him to enjoy his steak. But as I turned to leave, he said something that stopped me cold. If I go down, the feds will seize everything, including the retirement fund your mom had. Her pension's tied up in the company. If I lose, she loses too. And just like that, he knew how to control me again. I didn't give him an answer that night, but I went home and did what I do best. I built a plan. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I met with lawyers, former employees, and whistleblowers from his company. I found out the fraud wasn't just financial. They had been double-billing government contracts, inflating expenses, and rerouting classified parts to third-party resellers. I also discovered something else. My mom's pension wasn't safe. It was funneled into a private investment trust, controlled by my father. If he was indicted, it would be wiped out. So I made a decision. I called him and agreed to a meeting. Not with him, but with his board of directors. Most of them had jumped ship when the scandal broke. But a few remained, desperate to salvage what was left. I pitched them a buyout plan. I'd absorb the clean tech arm of his company into my startup, sever all ties to the defense wing, and protect the pensions of employees and families, including my mother's. There was one condition. He had to step down, publicly, irrevocably. He fought, screamed, threatened to sue me, but the board sided with me. He was forced out, and 2 weeks later I held the press conference. We're proud to announce a merger between Turner Sustainable Systems and EcoGrid Technologies. This is not just a business deal. It's a clean break from the past and a commitment to a future of integrity, sustainability, and respect. The next day, my dad called me. I didn't pick up. Instead, I sent him a text. I saved what mattered. But not for you. Never for you. Now here's the reason I'm posting. It's been 3 months since the takeover. My father lost everything, his title, his company, his legacy. The media dragged him. Veterans groups he once supported called him a disgrace. And I've become, in his words, the enemy. My uncle reached out last week and told me my dad is living in a small apartment outside Jacksonville. Jobless, depressed, and angry. He called me a vulture. Said I used the family name to get ahead. Some relatives are saying I should have helped him rebuild. That I humiliated him when I could have extended a hand. That blood is thicker than water, and sons should forgive their fathers. But after everything he did to me, after what he did to my mom, I don't know. Maybe I am the asshole. Or maybe this was justice. So, AITA for refusing to help my father rebuild his company after he cut me off and disowned me for not joining the military? Even though it ruined him completely?